Hey guys, welcome back to the Black Wendy channel, the Black Wendy here. As you can see, things are a bit different today. For starters, I'm speaking directly into the camera, which doesn't happen every so often. And today's episode is really special to me, guys, for various reasons, and you'll find out at a later stage. But if you're watching this, it's either Mother's Day or Mother's Day is around the corner, or it's May, and mothers are celebrated all over the world in this month. For some people, this month is really difficult though, and I'm one of those people. For some, it's hard to celebrate Mother's Day because they are desperately trying to conceive and they can't. For others, it's hard to celebrate your mom because you have a very difficult relationship with her. And for myself, as well as my guest, it's hard to celebrate Mother's Day because we have been unfortunate in losing our mother. So I just want to set the tone for you guys. Like, this is not an easy conversation to have, but I do think that it's a very important episode. I love the person that is here today, and I'm sure you guys love her too. If you know of anyone who needs to see this video, please share it with them. But otherwise, sit back. I hope that you're in bed as well, because today I'm in bed with Bongeka Masango. That's your surname, right?
Yes.
Okay.
How awkward if it wasn't.
It was like, it literally sounded wrong in my head. So I was just like, thank you for coming.
I'm here for the snacks, to be honest.
The truth comes out. It's not even 2 minutes yet and already. How you doing?
Good.
How's Paul?
Oh, God.
I'm going to link
So
the episode that
painful.
I'm referring to below.
So painful. My body is... I feel like I was in a fight.
Are you feeling it?
Yeah.
So this is the perfect set for you. You can just relax.
Oh,
You don't have to do much. I want to thank you just before we even start, because I understand the difficulty that comes with talking about loss of any kind. But like particularly this, around this time, you just told me that's your birthday tomorrow as well. And, you know, so just like bearing all of that in mind, I just want to appreciate you for being here to carry this conversation with me.
Wendy.
It's also so like, I just love it because I don't know that many people in my immediate space who have lost their parents. I don't know anyone who has like the ideal relationship with their parents, but I don't know anyone who's lost their parents. So whenever I have a conversation like this, it's hardly with someone who's like, I've been there as well. So before we even go further, like, the one thing that I really would love to hear is about your mom. Like, tell me about her.
I actually spoke about her at when we did TEDx. So she was I never know how to explain other people or even myself. You know when people like tell me about yourself, there's so much. But yeah, she was great. Like, truly, literally, like, we were tongue-in-cheek. Literally, people would be like, we would see her, let's say in a mall, and around the corner, I'd be like right behind her, like all the time. We were always together. She was so kind and so sweet. She was in education, so she was a principal. And I think I loved seeing her as a principal, because I know that there weren't very many female principals in our area. It was mostly males, and she was a principal of a high school as well, because I felt like a lot of the female teachers were in like primary school and preschool, and she was like trailblazing within the high schools, and she was doing really well in that. So I think having a parent or like a mom like that was amazing and like so nice to see. And she was awesome.
Yeah. Were you an only child?
I'm her only child, but I'm one of 4 from my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like, how do you feel like, because when I think about my mom, I try to think about like things that I still possess of hers. Because so my mom passed away when I was 11. And so I was too young to kind of understand what her personality is, or what character is for that matter. But I go back and I think about like, oh, my mom was really shy. Like, she was really quiet. She was so introverted. She was very sweet, very kind. She loved God. She prayed, you know, things like that. And so I try to trace similarities that I share like with her.
Yeah.
What would you say are some of the things that you feel like this is definitely from my mom? Like, this is...
I think probably some parts of her personality, because she was also a bit reserved. which I feel like I'm the same as well, depending on the situation. But I think more than anything, I actually look more like her than like act like her.
Really?
Yeah, I get that. All, especially when I had an afro, people were like, "Wow, was a fun night." Like all this. Every time I would go to Durban and I run into someone that knew her, they'd be like, "Wow, you really look like her." And then I looked at like her photos from when she was my age.
Yeah.
It's twins. Literally twins. And I think I look more and more like her the older I get.
Yeah.
Which is like trippy for people, especially if they haven't seen me in a while and they're like, yo.
So she was gorgeous, is basically. As you can see, my mom was gorgeous.
Pretty much.
What more can I say?
So yeah, I also agree with you. Like I was quite young. I was 13 when she passed away. So I feel like I knew her, but I didn't. I knew her as a parent, not as like a person. I think like there's a difference between the two. Obviously not a stark difference because you're still you, but we hadn't gotten to the stage where like my friends now, a lot of them are like, oh, my mom's like my best friend. We hadn't gone to the best friend stage.
Yeah, you were a child.
We were friends, but you were still my mom, and you were still telling me what to do. We weren't, I wasn't confiding in you, texting you to be like, hey, spend my money.
Hey, man, give me a crush. Which I don't think would happen anyway. Like even if they were.
If it would though.
Yeah.
Do you think it wouldn't?
There's a lot of things that I wonder. I think with my mom, she would be okay with me being in a relationship. Not that I'm in a relationship now, so I'm pretty sure she's like, you're doing great, girl. Like just wait until you're like 40. But
40.
I don't think that she would have a problem per se. I just think that like the best thing that my mom introduced me to was God, right? But I just remember her being very conservative and like reserved. So I think when it comes to date, she would want me to tell her, I think, that I'm dating. I think she would want to know that, you know, I'm in a relationship with someone. But I don't think she'd be like, ooh, like, tell me about the date y'all had. And like, ooh, I don't think that she would be involved in that regard, like to that extent. But yeah, what do you think? Do you think that?
I don't know. I feel like she would want to know, not all the details, but she'd probably ask questions. And I'm honestly just basing this off of what I've seen from other people and how their relationship with their mom is, and I'm just like, surely my mom wouldn't be doing the same things, because I don't feel like their mother's personalities are very far away from my mom's. So I think she would. But what I will say though is like, I was on my way here, I was thinking about it. I'm like, this moment right now, us sitting like this here, I probably would not have happened had we not lost our mothers. Even if it was a different conversation. Like, I don't even think I'd be in Cape Town, to be honest. I don't think I would have left Durban at all. I would not. I'd be like, ooh, sissy, even if there's like family and friends everywhere. I don't know if I would have like felt comfortable leaving in the way that I did.
I think about that a lot in terms of like, would I be this person? Like if my mom had not passed away. So I lost both my parents, my dad when I was a year and my mom when I was 11. So I hold both of those realities, right? And that pain as well. And that's something that I grew up with. So all I've known like as a child is, you know, I've been raised by different hands. I've lived in different households with other people who have their parents still in my family, but I just never had that direct contact. And I think that does something to a person, good and bad, or just neutral. Like it really does define the decisions you make. It defines the kind of grit you have. It defines like the kind of things that you can cope with or deal with. You know what I mean? It defines what difficult is for you. Like, and that isn't usually what difficult is for other people. And so it's so interesting to me that you bring that up, that like, so this wouldn't be happening if they hadn't passed, but also we may not be these people at all
exactly
had they not passed.
How crazy.
It's crazy. But then you wonder,
who would you have been exactly.
if they were still around?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm not mad at the person that I am, but the way that it's happened isn't great.
Yes, the
so
journey.
So I would have hoped that I'd still be this person, but have not had gone through all that pain. But then it's like, how would you?
Yeah, and you really just can't tell. And these are like the internal moments that happen. Like I think for me, the biggest days are like Mother's Day, their birthday, the day of their passing. there are certain days where these kind of thoughts come up and you're just like,
Yeah.
I wonder. Or when you just like want to speak to a mom.
Yeah.
This was brought up a few days ago. Someone was like, oh, our Zulu mom, so funny. Like, how did your mom feel about it, you know? And it wasn't awkward for me because
you probably get that all the time.
I get it all the time. Like, there's always, I think there's, and this is another conversation that I'm wanting us to have. Like, there's this assumption that we all have our parents. It's normal.
Yeah.
I hate that word, but I'm just going to use it for now. Like, it's normal to have your mom and dad, you know? And
especially
so I don't fault
mom.
them. Yes, especially mom. Yeah. Because dads be wildin'.
That's tricky. But mom is
always the rock, you know? And so, and for me, it's not awkward because when I think about the women who've raised me, they are Zulu moms. So this character is actually based on, you know, my mom right now who's raising me, who's Zulu and who is exactly that, you know. Like, watch that episode where I'm in church, where our Zulu mom is in church giving a testimony. That is her. Like, that is, I sat there in church and I just wrote it down and I was like, one day this will give me views. So it's not awkward in that regard. So I always can answer and say, oh yeah, no, she hasn't seen them, but like, it's very accurate, you know. What would you say for you is the thing that like brings her to the forefront of your mind?
Like, Christmas for me is my worst. Like, I hate Christmas. It's like my worst holiday ever. Because that reminds me a lot of her and of my gran, who ended up kind of being like my mom. But then she ended up passing away as well, so it was like double whammy. And they both like were really big on like family and making sure that Christmas was the time that we all got together. Now Christmas, we're not getting together. I'm sitting watching TV. You're sitting watching TV at your house. We'll text each other, Merry Christmas, and that's it. We're not like, they were the glue, I think, that kept us together. So those dates are always hard. But to go back to the conversation about when people like always assume, I think at first it used to always bother me, but now I get so used to it that I'm just like, I can't get upset because they don't know. And this actually happened to me at work I think like a year ago, where someone was like, oh, aren't you going home for like whatever this, I can't remember what it was. Aren't you going home? And I'm like, no. They're like, how often do you go home? I'm like I don't know, like once a year. And they're like, what about your mom? Shane, doesn't she miss you? And I don't have the energy to always be like, well, yeah. Because sometimes when you then in that conversation, they're not expecting that to be your answer, right? And then their intention of asking isn't your mom missing you, isn't for the conversation to then go somewhere. Because the minute you're like, oh, actually my mom passed away, then they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, and then they feel guilty. And I'm just like, I don't want you to feel guilty. So I'm just it's fine. It's fine. So isn't your mom missing you? Nah, I'll see them later.
No, I don't have this conversation anymore. Bye.
I always am just like, it's fine, man. I'll see them later. And I never say her. I always am just like them,
the family.
Now I'll see them later, and then the conversation is over because I just don't want to go into it. And then you're just like, I'm so sorry. Now you're walking on eggshells, now you don't know how to exit the conversation. Because, oops.
And both of you don't. It's like it's a dance between the both of you. Like, like you know this now. So now what?
Yeah.
Do you have any follow-up questions?
So sorry. And I'm just like, well, you weren't a part of it, so I don't know what
you
can do.
It's okay. That's another interesting segue, because I don't know who's harder for us to speak about the loss of our parents, or for people around us to hear about it.
Yeah, the hardest probably moment that ever happened in that situation was the day my mom passed away. So she passed away in the morning, and then obviously I didn't go to school that morning. And then because she was a high school principal, and while she was sick, there was an acting principal. So he called our house, and then I answered the phone. I don't know why the hell I answered the phone, but I think it was just like a force of habit. It's at home, I'm answering the phone. But I answered the phone, and it was obviously during a school day, so he was so confused as to why I was even there. So he was just like, why are you answering the phone?
Ooh.
What's going on? And then I just like froze, and I've never had a moment like that where, when you're on the phone, it's like, and then I just started crying, and then someone happened to walk past and like grabbed the phone from me and like shushed me away, and then had the conversation and told him what happened. And I think like in that moment I was just like, I'm about to have this confrontation with people for the rest of my life. And that was like the hardest one because it was still like literally within hours after my mom had passed away, and now someone's like, "Oh, why are you there?" Well, now I'm explaining my mom.
Well,
that was the
actually,
first time I had to explain my mom's passed away. So I think that was probably the hardest. And I guess I'm now in hindsight grateful for that moment because it's not gonna be there's never gonna be a moment harder than that when it comes to explaining. But yeah, I think it depends. It depends on also the setting. I'm not going to be like in the club where people are like, "Hi, where's your mom? What's your mom going to say with you wearing that?" And I'm going to be like, "Actually,
well, my mom don't mind because..."
Imagine. Oh no, it's not going to be... So, can you imagine?
All I'm doing now is imagining it.
My mom's passed away!
Mid-borsho.
Dude, so it depends. Like, you pick and choose the moments.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And the people.
Yeah. So it depends. It changes all the time. Yeah, and yourself?
I didn't fully know that my mom had passed away. So I knew because I was told, Lungi, that's my home
Your
name.
home name?
Lu, this has happened, right?
Okay.
So I'm 11. I even remember what I was wearing.
Really?
I remember that day. So it comes back to me. I didn't remember it obviously as like growing up into my early teens, but now as an adult, like it comes back to me, and I remember that day. I remember being told, and I remember just nodding, right, and just being like, cool. I'm gonna go play is what I'm gonna do because it didn't sink in, and repetition was the thing for me.
Okay.
And luckily I was around people who kind of understood grief.
Okay.
And they were just like, we're just gonna have to keep telling this child, because I think I still asked about her and stuff, right?
Okay.
And apparently at my mom's funeral I was I remember not crying, but apparently I was also comforting people. Like I was telling people it's gonna be fine.
Oh,
like it's gonna be okay.
No, that is so heartbreaking, even for the people that are there.
In terms of like talking about her, I'm such an open book. And I think that's where personality also plays in. Like as a person, I'm just like I'm very open.
Yeah.
So it's, for me, I would say it's always harder for the other person than it is for me to speak about my mom. Like I'm very open to it.
How do you feel about how you would be as a parent, knowing that you've lost a parent?
I honestly feel like my mom lives on because I'm still around, like because I'm alive. And I think that when I'm a mother like she was to me, that's even more opportunity to have her legacy live on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I honestly want, and I'm so grateful to all the women who've raised me, whether it was, when I stayed with you for a week or for years. But my mom epitomized love and patience, and just, my mom was a listener. I was a child, but I remember moments where my mom would literally listen to me, and I feel like that is something that I can't wait to be a mother. I can't wait to have children of my own and adopt children as well, because I've been so fortunate to have been adopted, granted by, people who are within my father's side of the family. But still, like, they adopted me and raised me as their own. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having children. And I'm looking forward to seeing how she will materialize in that journey. And you?
Yeah. So I'm still deciding on whether or not I want to have kids. I think I like the idea of maybe one and then taking it from there. But I definitely can wait. Like, I'm not in any kind of rush. Like, I'm not trying to have kids anytime soon.
I can and I will, and I am waiting.
Yeah. I don't plan on having kids anytime until like I'm in my 30s anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But I do feel like sometimes I'll be such a helicopter parent, and I'm gonna be on them all the time because I'm like, I don't know when this is gonna end. I need to just love you, and then have you like bombard you with 1,000 memories because I know what it's like to lose someone when you're young, and I'm like, what if this is a repetition or like a pattern that is going to happen in my family or in my bloodline? So I'm like, I don't know. I think I'll have to see when it happens.
Do you think that it also influences like your actual relationships with other people? So with kids, you think like futuristically, like, I think, I'm gonna be a helicopter parent, or I think I'm gonna overcompensate because my mom was so good. But with actual existing like friendships and like navigating some, I don't know, even like romantic relationships and whatever, do you have this thought that it's gonna end, or this person's gonna leave, or even with some of your relatives, like this is temporary? Do you have that?
I don't ever think it's temporary, but I think I've gotten so used to now being one man, and just doing my own thing and being in my own space, that I find it hard to get super close with anybody. Like I have like a handful, I can count maybe on half of my hand, my super close friends. Because I'm just like I can't deal with friends, and that's like I guess the nature of life and the nature of friendship, where you're close for sometimes a season and sometimes for a lifetime, and you never know who's gonna be that person. So I think I'm also so afraid of the seasonal ones that I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do this whole thing again. I'm super close to someone and then it's over, and then it's super close, and then so I do find it hard to connect with people. I found it so much easier just to be by myself, because it's me. This is me. So I definitely think that, but I never go into any like friendship and being like, oh, this is gonna end.
Yeah. Oh, hi, my name is Bongeka. Your name is Uncle Cool. Let's see how long.
No, I never. You're on the clock. Yeah, I never do that.
No, I think I definitely relate with the being alone thing, and I think like it's one of the reasons why I even want to live alone. Like I want to, when I think about my future, I hardly have anyone else there. And I realized this, I was telling a friend of mine a few days ago that actually I say that I want to build new meaningful relationships. I want, a boyfriend. I want like all that stuff. But actually, whenever I think subconsciously about my future, it's weird how my mind has fashioned it in such a way that like
really?
It's crazy. Like even now, you just ask me if I want to be a mother, and I'm like, yes, I want to be a mother. I want to have some of my own, and then I don't. But when I think about my future, it's weird how I'm alone, and I think it's because I've been alone for so long, and it's something I'm comfortable with, but it's not something that I want to be eternal. Like I don't want to be alone forever. But so it's definitely something that has played itself out in relationships. Like when friendships end, I'm like, well, vele bizophela. Like someone's like, oh, so it's because it's for you, it's paid. But it's not a case of like I time it. It's a ticking bomb. Like that's not the case at all. But I feel like there are some parts of me that influence some of my relationships ending because I do expect them to. But I really do appreciate this conversation. I love the fact that you said yes to this. And you're taking all of these snacks that you actually came for.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're going to take them home. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Black Wendy channel. I'm just going to do the outro now. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. It's not even a numbers thing, guys. Just share it with someone that you really know needs to see it, and have this conversation. I'm planning on having way more conversations like these as well. So please let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who do y'all think that I should be in bed with next? Bye, guys. Mwah.
I can't with the who do you
I think it should be Michael B. Jordan. Who do y'all think I should be in bed with?
I think so too. That would be amazing.